Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, and let's see, what do we have going on here in these tea leaves today? We have a large crab that is very evident, which actually totally fits with our card today. If you can see, we have the Knight of Cups. And within that holy grail that he is holding, there is that crab, that Cancer energy. So there we go. Isn't it neat when the universe kind of mirrors itself there? Definitely confirmation. So we have that crab energy. A lot of emotionality. But it is an emotionality that is processed, that is being integrated. The sea creatures, especially the ones that have the exoskeleton, the crustaceans, these in my mind are beings that can seem to be a little bit aloof or standoffish, and maybe they are a little bit standoffish. A bit of the hermit, kind of exists a lot in their interior worlds. But these are beings that are really good at kind of going away on their own and really examining something, really feeling something, letting that thing be what it is. And, and really fully immersing themselves in it. And, I think that there's something to be said about being comfortable enough with yourself to go and just feel your feelings, okay? Not let them consume you, not, let them fully take you over, but just to be with them for a little while, okay? And I see this is in that emotional place on the incline of the bowl here. It's also in this physical flat plane. So I feel like this is something that is going on in your real life, your daily waking life, and it is affecting you emotionally, okay? But I do think that this is something, because this is such a large formation, I do believe that this is something that is very worthwhile to you. Ultimately, this will be something that transforms an aspect of yourself. Maybe even kind of helps you open up a little bit to trying new things, to having a wider perception of things. Maybe even just being more open-minded about something, right? And that's always a wonderful, wonderful thing to have occur in our lives. I am always so excited when I am presented with some kind of idea or concept or, whatever it is. Just something I've never seen before, I've never heard of before. I just can't even believe, like, where did this thing come from? Or what is this, this tradition or this place or, whatever it is. And it really, it's interesting because it opens up, little step by step, we open up more and more to the wonders and awe of life, of the divine aspects of being. And so when these things happen, and they can feel quite emotional, when these things happen, it is quite a privilege for us, right? It is, and I think the older we get too, we feel like we've seen it all, especially those of us who have been on the internet for a long time. We've seen it all. We've seen all kinds of stuff, right? And you could not surprise me. You couldn't show me something new. I already know it all, but you know what? It happens constantly. There's so many things I have no idea about, and I am, right now I'm really into like these kind of YouTube mysteries and Reddit mysteries, and a lot of them are like ARG games and stuff, but so interesting. The things that people create and how they weave real world stuff into them. Really cool. Okay, so we have that going on. And now we have a boat, and it looks like it's moving pretty quickly there. It looks like a little sailboat. So I feel like we have a movement of energies of emotionality. Whatever was kind of getting you feeling like you were blocked up in some way or another, I really feel like you were moving. And I'm over here looking. We have actually another crab here. Okay, and then we have what looks like a bird of some kind of lake bird or a long bird. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, it looks like a distillation of some of these emotions, but it almost looks like it's kind of at odds with this crab. And I almost feel like some of like what's going on, it feels like it maybe does. It's kind of taking you out of your comfort zone, but not in a way that necessarily feels too confronting, in a way that, shuts you down. But I'm looking at all of this together and I'm thinking, it seems like almost you are in a place of, it's like you are looking into your own self-mythology. I feel like you have this urge to kind of go back over things. Feeling like, and I'm looking at this, we have a little cricket right here. And now a cricket in the house is good luck, especially a black cricket, which I have often during the summer. I have a lot of field crickets. And I've looked up, what does it mean symbolically? But it could also mean that there is the looming kind of dread of somebody's transition or death, right? And so I'm looking at all of this and it feels like there is a sense of urgency in some ways. And I think this is perceived as urgency. And there's some amount of emotional being protective of yourself, feeling a little bit it just feels like it's a really intense feeling, very potent, and that's kind of there is a distillation of the emotions going on. And so I feel like you almost are trying to communicate with maybe family members, because you want to find things out before they're gone. Like I get this feeling that it's like you want to know about your family before they're not here to talk to you about it. and almost like you maybe are on the road of documenting some of your family's history, which is really interesting and actually seems a lot like something a Capricorn person would do. I think this is not unlike the instinct we have for genealogy, but I think this is more about the narrative of your family's experience. And I don't know, maybe this is also you kind of beginning to write down your own experiences, your own memoirs, or getting together your diaries and journals. But I also feel like there is this push towards maybe even, and I always think that this is a wonderful idea for anybody, interviewing your elders, right? And having recordings of them, making videos of them, talking about their lives, about your family members, even those that maybe you never met. But having all of this kind of put together, not only for yourself, but for, the generations that are to come in your family. And I know it's easy for us to feel like, oh, these, my kids don't care about their, whatever. They don't want to know about my life or, but if you think about it, when you get into your adulthood, or you have your own children, you start thinking like you want to know more about what your parents were like, what they went through. You won't really maybe want to know about what your grandparents and great-grandparents, and wouldn't it be nice to know what their circumstances were? What were they doing? What were they like? How many children did they have? Where are they from? Where, why? What did they love? What didn't they love? What kind of has been passed down through the culture of our family? What are things that, the thing I always find interesting, I think a lot of people do, is when our children take on mannerisms of people they've never met within the family. Right. And this is one that I find interesting. My daughter was just telling me today, again, she's making sure I did not put peas in the food today in lunch. And she was explaining to me why she does not like them. Well, I remember that my mother, who, passed away when I was a kid, I remember hearing stories about her really not liking peas. And that she would protest any kind of meal if it had any peas in it or near it. And so, and I think this is not an uncommon thing in a young child, but I just find that interesting that sometimes these very specific likes and dislikes, they kind of cycle through the people that we love, even if they never have a direct connection. And so, I feel that this is not unlike you. I feel like this is a time, and it's a very sentimental time. I'm also looking here, and we have this, it reminds me very much of a side profile of Hermes or Mercury, and a messenger. Okay, this is the messenger of the gods, and very, again, the crab on its side, very very large and dense symbol. And I feel that there is almost kind of a guiding hand here for you. This is, these are your ancestors awaken you. These are, the memories that flow through you, even if they are not your own. And they want to be remembered. They want to be heard. Okay. And, I don't, some people, we have a ability to access some of this stuff, and some of us go through life never really having an interest. And others, they might focus their whole life on this work. Ooh, excuse me. I'm still battling this cold I have, so you'll have to forgive me. And so I see we will be hitting a little bit of a wall here. Okay. And so I want to tell you to keep going through, find your way through, keep asking questions, go and find your family members that want to talk. Okay. Keep writing your stories. Don't worry about who's going to see them or if they care or if it sounds coherent or not. It doesn't matter. The point is to get this stuff documented for yourself. For the sake of it being, there's something magical about us writing things down, about us documenting something. It lives in our heart, our mind, our soul. But the act of putting it on paper or, making a digital document, uttering something, saying it out loud, it lends it life. It is the beginning of giving it some kind of life. And so I think that this is really an important ritual in anybody's life too. And I am definitely a person that thinks that if you have the will or the desire to keep diaries, journals, some kind of, sketches, lists, whatever it is, there should be a place for you to put some of these things. It doesn't even have to be about your life. It could be about anything. For me, a lot of it is magical work. When I do my journals and my diaries and things, it's almost always about, my magical experiences and things like this. I rarely write about my life, to be honest with you. I have tried more and more so my daughter can have, a journal about her early years. But, whatever you feel inspired to do, I think it's a good exercise for anybody. Okay. And then I also want to look, we also have the Grail there. Okay. So, I feel that when I see this in this context, there really is, a necessity for the vessel of these emotions, of this, this sentiment and this, nostalgia that is coming up. And, one of those vessels is creating something with your stories, putting them on paper or whatever, making videos, interviews. We also have a Z, okay, right next to that. And that might be important. I don't know. And then we'll look over here. We have a heart. We have a bird. A lot of messaging. There's a lot of messaging coming through. And I feel like, my goodness, this really is like the ancestors talking to you. Your family, your departed ones. And I also see that maybe you had somebody in your family who was some kind of, they were some kind of adept. I think that they probably were psychic or clairvoyant or some kind of magical practitioner. You can see this has a cloak and a hat there. And I feel like this is a person who guides you. This is somebody who you feel close to, but I don't think that you know them. I think this is like, from a few generations past, great, or great. And I think that this maybe was like an uncle or an aunt or something. Maybe not directly a grandparent. So But somebody in the family who is there beside you constantly. And I think because you share some of those same abilities. And so, you know, this might be somebody to commune with, to find some means of communication through meditation, dream work, some kind of divining, channeling, whatever you might feel comfortable with. Okay, so these are the Dreamers deck. And I dropped the thing. So they're from the I Know collection. And I'm going to go ahead and stop where it says, or stop where it feels right. We're going to turn it over and read it together. And it says, I know that I am the only one who determines how my story unfolds. I am the main character. Well, isn't that the perfect card? Yeah, I love when these cards like totally just coincide with the main reading. And so you are. There's just this energy of telling your story, of telling the long story. And yeah, there's so much power in that. It's such a beautiful thing. So, Capricorn, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel a lot. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean so much to me. And with that, I'll tell you I love you. I hope you have a wonderful and pleasant day. And we will talk very soon.